Guys, making another one here on this sunny Saturday. These are the days where I usually sleep in quite a bit till about 11 a.m. And it's about that time right now. And then I come out and I kind of drink my coffee, drink protein, just kind of reflect on life. And this is probably when I'll make a lot of videos going forward, just because it's the most mental clarity I get all week. Sunday I don't really like making videos, just to honor the Savior, but I don't want to not make videos anymore. That's been something I've been struggling with on the days that I work. I'm pretty incoherent, as you guys have seen in some of the videos, and I tend to ramble even more than usual. But this video I've had in the pipe for a while because it's kind of timeless. I don't consider this slop, even though a lot of the things that happen with this topic are slop. And this is the topic of OnlyFans girls, and really you could do pornography in general. I don't know if I can speak plainly in this video due to YouTube, but it's a phenomenon that I've observed called Hoe Fatigue. There's a lot of fatigues going on right now. We've got the Middle East fatigue, we've got the black fatigue, and we've got the, I don't even know if it's just hoe fatigue, it's like modern woman fatigue. Because even if women are not prostitutes in the quite literal sense, they're just prostitutes in another way, be that, corporate jobs or whatever. It seems like women seem to prioritize everything except the things that matter in today's modern world. And by that I mean God, family, children. And what gets me thinking about this is just seeing how women of all spheres interact. So you can have these right-wing women, right? Like Megyn Kelly or Tommy Lahren or Laura Loomer, who are really they're just feminists essentially. Laura Loomer is especially devious because she's like a feminist Zionist, ultra Jewish, mindset. And then on the left, you've got like the AOCs, the Kanji Brown Jackson, whatever the hell her name is. Katanji, I think is how you say it. Got that Jasmine Crockett character. They're all just like black women, essentially. Women of color. But then in the Hollywood sphere, with the leftist women too, you got like they're all leftists basically. Scarlett Johansson, Anya Taylor-Joy, like you just pick it, right? Like Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney's a good example of hoe fatigue. Like she's attractive, but like it's just getting so tiresome seeing women just show their bodies in every single thing they do. Like it's to the point where, like, I don't know if you guys can relate. Like it's like I'm still very much attracted to women, but it's like I'm just so tired of just seeing like female nudity, just nudity in general, but like cleavage and all sorts of things. And I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I run a meme page on Minds, and I post a lot of like it's a shit posting page, so I post a lot of sexy women on there. And like I'm a man, I'm not like opposed to women being sexy, but it's just like prioritized above everything else, if that makes sense what I'm trying to say. The attractiveness of a woman is prioritized above anything else, to the point where it's like you don't know who the hell Sydney Sweeney is as a person. All you know is that she's got a great set of boobs. And I don't know if I've talked on this channel, but I've got like a type. One of the most beautiful actresses to me of all time is Marilyn Monroe. It's probably not, this is not like a shocker for anyone, but that's my type. I like the blondes. Marilyn Monroe, Margot Robbie. When I was a kid, I was very attracted to Jessica Alba. In fact, in many ways, like, she's old now, but you know, everyone ages. Jessica Alba's still in my brain, right? That's something that kind of happens to men. Everyone talks about women getting alpha widowed. It can happen to men too, where they see a certain woman and it kind of becomes their type. So Jessica Alba, that look, that type of woman has had like a profound impact on my brain to where, you know, and this is the problem again with the pornographic society that we live in, is that it affects us both in different ways. Like it shows you like the most ideal possible, right? Like a Marilyn Monroe or a Jessica Alba or like a Jessica Simpson or whatever, right? A Sydney Sweeney, a Margot Robbie, and then that becomes like in your brain, right? It becomes like you don't want to settle. I don't know. I hear that all the time. I'm trying to like think of a way to word this, like to make this make sense to you guys, but you probably know what I'm saying. And then this happens to women too, but with women, it's a lot easier for them to have sex young. So with women, usually what happens is they go for like the bad boy, and then the bad boy has sex with them, and then it's like they're all the woman that they had sex, or the man that they had sex with basically is what they measure all men on going forward. This is where like the Chad meme comes from, right? And again, with women, it's a lot easier. Like a Chad will bang a 6 out of 10 woman. Like, men don't care. They will have, I'd say men in the modern world, right? A lot of men that don't have any morality, which this is most of the world now. They will just bang any girl. And then that woman thinks like, oh, like right in her youth, right? Oh, I got Chad, so now I could just never settle, right? I've heard that from so many women, like never settle. Like, what does that even mean, right? But again, it kind of happens to men too. Like I'm trying to be a little humble here, because I've had a lot of instances in my life where I could have settled down and got married, and I had this similar mindset in college where I was like, I don't want to settle. And so, yeah, I'm digressing, but the point of the video is Hoe Fatigue. You know, I made a video about pride fatigue, which ties into this. Just this celebration of sexuality above everything else. It's very esoteric. It's very like satanic. I've talked about Hollywood in the past, like where a lot of this comes from, but essentially the idea that I'm trying to get across is that because we're in this like post-God world, right? This post-Christian world, it's slowly returning. You know, I know a lot of Zoomers in my life. I live in Utah, where there's like Mormons everywhere, but I haven't really met the levels of Christianity that I'm hearing. So it could all just be propaganda, but apparently Gen Z is becoming a lot more Christian, especially the men. And if that's true, you know, God bless. Like, I hope that is true. But on the flip side, the women are becoming more left-wing. And the dating crisis that past generations went through, it's just going to get worse for generations going forward if this trend continues. This is why we need the strong man. We really do just need the monarch. You can't just have democracy and expect... It really does come down to women voting. Like, it's that simple. If you have democracy and you let everyone vote, then eventually the liberalism is going to take over. But again, I'm digressing. This does not really digress, because it does lead, like, why do we even have Hoe Fatigue, right? Like, why are women the way they are? Well, it's because we've unleashed them. We've just, and I'm not advocating for any kind of like Muslim attitude here, because I think that's too extreme. This is where the Trinity always just like makes perfect sense to me. Like, why I'm going more orthodox is because the Trinity represents the balance. And so that is what I'm actually looking for. I'm not looking for, like, you know, cover women up from head to toe and hide everything about them, right? Even though a lot of Christian women in the past actually did wear like head coverings. Because this is the thing, ladies, if you don't know this yet, I mean, many men have talked about this, but the thing about it is, like, women are so beautiful to men that, like, if we see anything, it can set us off. This is like why simping is such a, to a lot of people it's very confusing, but if you're like a high testosterone, red-blooded man, even high testosterone men have to admit this. Simping is not that much of a mystery when you actually look at it. It's because men are hardwired to want to breed with women. It's like one of the strongest desires, if not the strongest desire a man has. It's like the reason he does anything in many ways, like the reason he gets out of bed, especially when he's young. So if a man sees like anything, like I'm talking anything, like a strand of hair, an ear, right? Like the ear connecting to the neckline, right? Men are just like that. We're visual. They've done studies on this where when men look at women, they focus on parts of the woman. Obviously we love the entire woman, but like men do like hyper focus on like certain parts of women because like that's just how we are. We're visual. I made a whole video about this, about the aesthetics of beauty, right? The sacredness of beauty. This is just how men are. So there is a little bit of credence in the whole like Muslim way of talking about modesty, but again, Christianity solves it in a much better equation, which is the balance, right? Like the woman is married to the man, right? So when she's married to the man, she's for that man. When she goes out into the public, she's not for the world, she's for the man. So she should cover up. She should preserve her beauty, preserve her modesty for her man. It's that simple. It doesn't mean you have to go out and dress like a monk or whatever. But even Jordan Peterson, I criticize him all the time, but I remember he made a video about makeup a long time, about how women in the workforce wearing makeup, and I see this all the time now because I'm back in the office setting, and it is like night and day. Like sometimes I'll see a woman, I'm like, oh, she looks cute, and then like the next day she's wearing like full makeup, full heels, and I'm like, it's just like, my goodness, the lustful thoughts just start. It's another argument for like the whole thing's just screwed up. It's another argument for like why men and women shouldn't even be working in the same spaces. Like they shouldn't be going to the gym together. Like we really do need male female segregation again. This was a thing of the past. It's not even controversial. So yeah, this is kind of where the hoe fatigue comes from. Like this is the fatigue of everything else too. Like if you want to know why there's black fatigue, it's because you've pushed it in our face for so long. It's a lie. That's the thing. That's another thing too. It's fundamentally a lie. It's not in truth that these things are supposed to be this way naturally. They're completely astroturfed and forced on us, right? I always say that with diversity. It's not like, because a lot of Americans, especially MAGA, the MAGA clown base, will say things like they're trying to tear us apart. They're trying to divide us as a nation. And it's like, no, the real problem is that they're bringing in foreigners and they're trying to force us together. That's the real problem. They're trying to, this is like what white flight is, not to get into the race thing too much on this video, but that's essentially what it is the only reason that a suburb exists, right? I live in a suburb. The only reason that this exists is because people want to escape the cities. And what actually is a city? It's diversity. So this goes to women too. Like men and women have a specific reason to be together, and that is to start a family and have children. But that is one man and one woman. So you don't need to be forcing men and women to compete in every single aspect of life. And this is really sinister with the feminism, because it's telling women to act like men. And then the response to this is why the whole trans thing is thing, right? Because the weak men, right, they don't know how to compete with this, because a man is not really naturally inclined to compete with a woman. That's like against God's order. So what will some men do? Well, they'll just pretend like they're women. This is where trans comes from, because they want to compete, but they know that they really can't. A man, basically, we're bigger and stronger than women. We can overpower them easily, but that's just not how men are hardwired to be. So when you create this awkward situation of women lording over men, the men just don't know what to do. This is why Zoomers are so some of these Zoomers, I shouldn't say all Zoomers, because there are some really based Zoomers, but this is why like the the leftist Zoomers are just like so soy. This is like what happened to the millennials too, my generation. I told that story in one of my past videos about a male feminist that I met when I was doing Amway. The levels of soy that come out of some of these men, it's like a response. It's like an immune response to the fatigue, the women ruling over men. This is like literally in Isaiah too. Like it's in Isaiah. It basically mentions like when women start ruling over men, like that's like a big indicator of the society going down quick. And so yeah, the hoe fatigue part happens in the you could say pornographic. I'm trying to avoid like getting too detailed in this because of YouTube. But essentially, yeah, like because of, it happens in all aspects because women are now propagandized to prioritize literally everything but what they should be doing. You get women in the workforce, you get women on OnlyFans, you get so much pornography you don't even know like how to handle it. It's just everywhere. Like there's a lot of these laws now that are trying to be passed to do age verification, good on that, but that's really not going to solve the problem. There's this guy that I watch on Odyssey, and for the most part I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but he's fun to listen to, and you guys might know his name is Turd Flinging Monkey. He does like sex toy reviews, so like I don't really agree with a lot of that, but he does always talk about how until society gets serious about taking women's rights away, and by that I literally mean like they cannot vote, right? And men shouldn't vote either if they're retarded. Basically, that's really what it is. Like if you're retarded, you can't vote. But I'd rather just get rid of voting altogether. But that's beside the point. But yeah, basically, you're gonna have to enter this society where women have like no say in the politics of the society. That's gonna force them to focus on community again, men again. But we're in the digital age as well, so taking women's rights away also means you need to basically ban pornography. I just don't think society's ready for this, guys. They're not ready to have this conversation. And me, like I've said, I've struggled with this all the time, but I would happily let them ban it, and I could just like, it's so hard to exist in this world as a man when it's just everywhere. Like you go anywhere, Facebook, Twitter, it's just impossible to not be affected by it in some way. Like I said, even in the workforce, just women dressing risque, right? This is just how men are. I don't know. We like women. It's that simple. Parts of the woman, the entire woman, women. And yeah, so what kind of inspired this video was there is these challenges, finally getting to the meat of it. Sorry about the ramble, but if you guys like these, subscribe to my channel. My name is Joey. This is the Jigsaw 0097 channel. Like the videos, comment down below, share the videos if you're so inclined. There's the shilling. I'm really bad at shilling, maybe I got to get better at that. Got to tap into the inner Jew in me and shill a little better. But I think my channel's shadow banned anyway, or either my content sucks or I'm shadow banned. That's what I'm like trying to figure out, because I got a bunch of views on this one video, and then I'm not really getting very many views anymore, but it's fine. The people that stick around, you guys are great. I appreciate watching. I usually get about 30 views a video, so there's like 30 people watching at least, I know that of. But yeah, what really inspired this video was you've got these characters like Bonnie Blue and trying to think of all their names, Annie Knight, Sophie Rain. These are all like these so essentially what these OnlyFans girls are, like this is the next level. This is the problem too with this hoe mentality, pornographic society, and you add in liberalism, right? Because liberalism is all about progress, right? You gotta progress forward. So what's happening now with these porn stars is they're doing these challenges where they can like try to sleep with as many men as possible in like a certain time frame. I think they're lying, to be honest, because, like, again, I don't know who's done what. I don't care. I'm just naming the names. I think Annie Knight got hospitalized. That was like what made me think about this video. She got hospitalized after one of these sessions where she'd banged like 600 guys and she had to go to the hospital because she was having issues down there. And it's like, this is so stupid. People are like talking, oh my gosh, I hope she's, it's like, dude, do you realize what she's doing? You guys might be too young for this, but go read about Eazy-E. He's one of the rappers. It's actually in the movie Straight Outta Compton, which is like, oddly enough, it's a decent movie for showing ghetto, LA black culture. It's really good, and it's like Oppenheimer. It's not fun to watch, but it's a really good, instructive film on like how a certain segment of society operates. But if you go read about Eazy-E, like Eazy-E died basically because he would have like these crazy sex orgies that would last for days. And he died. I can't remember his age, but he died. And in the movie, they make it like this super sad moment. But it's always funny to me with these things. It's like, because it's like, this is the most avoidable form of death you can fathom. Like, just don't have sex. And if you're going to, like, I'm not advocating for this, but if you're going to, like, use protection or whatever, I just say don't have sex. Like, just abstain. Simple as. Maybe don't, like, even sleeping with like 10 people in your life is bad. You're banging hundreds of people in like a couple days to a day. Again, I don't even know if the logistics of this are possible. I think they're lying. Like when they say they've had sex with 1,000 guys in like 24 hours, people have done the math. Like the guy would just have to basically be like in and out, or he'd have to just touch it, and that's the only way. Like they'd have to like really stretch the way that they count something like that. But this is now a thing. This is now a thing where women are. Another thing that happened. This is more recent to me making this video. Is the all-time retard Andrew Tate had I think it was Bonnie Blue on his like podcast, and she was doing the nasty like whore thing where they like get on their knees and like do the like face, you know what I'm talking about. And it's like, okay, this is I already knew what Andrew Tate was. I made a video like 4 years ago about this is why I hate the red pill, basically, because it's male feminism. And now you literally see this. You see like the ultimate disgusting porn star Bonnie Blue teaming up with the ultimate disgusting red pill guy Andrew Tate, and like this is how it's completely astroturf. This is going to be like the James Lindsay and the Jordan Peterson of the Zoomers. Like this is the psyop for them, is they're going to like worship these people. And it's really sickening to think about. And so, yeah, that was kind of what inspired this whole ramble, this whole rant, is that, men are just tired of this, like sane men, which I think a lot of men are, if they're being honest. I talk to a lot of younger men that I encounter, and they have like the same issues I have when I was a kid. It's even worse now because there's so many like fetishes, I guess you could say now. Like there's like so much access to content, put it that way. And some of these men are exposed to it at such a young age that it's like you can just see the struggle, the turmoil within their soul, because they're just like, they've been completely coon-brained, essentially. And so, like, I totally understand it in that regard, but I do think that there just comes up an age, and it might happen sooner for Zoomers, where you just get really tired of it. For me, it happened probably like early 30s. Now, like I said, I still struggle with it on occasion. Like I'm a man, sue me, right? I don't have a wife, so I do the best I can, pretty good considering the circumstances of society. But there was a point in my life where I had no restraints with this stuff. I just went all in. That's like my own fault. That's why I am the way I am, right? Like you get exposed to certain things. But I remember my aunt, she said that to me in like 2010. She says, like, everything that goes into your brain stays in your brain. It doesn't ever really leave. And I remember like 2010, I would have been like 21, 22 years old. I remember I just laughed at her, and I thought she was stupid, basically. But now I'm like, yeah, you know, that's kind of true. Like every, that's why I always joke with my friends, my gym friends, that in my mind it feels like I've had sex with like hundreds of women because of the amount of porn I've looked at. Because it's true, like you don't really forget what you've seen. And again, every man kind of has like a type. And so when you see those certain women that are really your type, whether it be porn or whatever, you don't forget those women. Like I said, the woman Jessica Alba, I think a lot of men can relate to this, had a profound impact on me as a young boy. And in that way, it's like my mind now is always like searching for that. Always searching for that type of woman. And this is why, yeah, like I've said in the past, this is why I think men should just get married as young as possible. Same with women. I only have one friend that I know of that did this, and it worked out pretty good for him. But yeah, I think the longer you stay in the dating marketplace, the longer or the harder it's going to be for you to find anyone. And when you do, right, like this is the lie of the millennials, right? It's like, oh, just do all this stuff and wait till your 30s to do the family, right? By that time, men and women, you know, there's a level of fatigue in both of us. And so like you're set in your ways more, you're older. You can't just like click a switch and be like, okay, now I'm gonna get married. So I encourage Zoomers, younger men than Zoomers now, because yeah, Zoomers are getting a little bit older. It's kind of weird. Zoomers are getting closer to 30 every year. So there's going to be this new wave of men, right? Gen Alpha, I think is what they're called. The COVID kids as well. If you guys are watching these videos, because there's a lot of content like this now, take the advice from the millennials, especially the millennials, because we were the ones that were really psyoped with this crap. Get married to the girl, the first girl that you date, really. If you meet her in church or whatever, right? Don't have sex with her young, but the first girl that you find attractive and that you can date, it happens very easily when you're young. I don't know about nowadays, but I still think that like when you're young, especially if you're in like a public school setting, you know, it is much easier to just like ask that girl out. And yeah, if you can do that, you can get married by the time you're like 20 as a man, 21, marry like a 19-year-old, 20, like just do it. Just do it. Don't think about like, oh, I'm settling. Because the problem with that is that if you don't do it, the fatigue will hit. Because that's a whole nother thing about this hoe fatigue, is there's dating fatigue for me especially. Like I don't even like dating anymore. I absolutely hate it. I've almost resigned myself to the fact that I'm just going to be single. And I've shouted him out several times. There's a channel that I do watch occasionally called Raymond Thoughts in Mind. And he pushes back against this mentality, which I very much appreciate, because I do think a lot of the manosphere, they tend to just embrace this like male singleness forever. But I don't know. What it is for me is it's not that I don't want to date a woman. It really is just the fatigue. Like I don't have the energy. I don't have the resources either. Like I've spoken in the past how like a lot of people are experiencing this. We're all kind of like making money, but none of us, we're all like on the verge of being broke. There is no like boomer wealth that generation had. Gen X, millennials, we're all kind of just coasting by. We're living within our means, which is good, but it also means that, you know, we don't have a lot of the world is still presenting as if it's what the boomers grew up in, but it's not. So, you know, you go to work and you make your money, you're just tired afterwards, and you know, it is what it is, especially as you get older. So anyway, guys, that is the video. I've rambled along. You guys get the point. Hoe fatigue. You know, I've made a lot of videos on women. I don't really want this to be a woman channel, just, you know, like a red pill woman channel, but it's really, this channel really is just kind of my thoughts as I just, there's a bug. Did you guys see that? Bug landed on my freaking nose. This is really just a channel kind of about my thoughts. So I talk about politics, women, philosophy, religion, with the time that I have to make these videos. So if you guys like this content, I really appreciate it. I'm going to end it here. So again, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe, please. My name is Joey, as I've said. This is the Jigsaw 097 channel. Share the video, comment down below, like the videos. I don't see a lot of likes on my videos. That really would help the algorithm. I know a lot of you guys are watching, but please like the video. It's very simple. It's a very simple thing to do. It would help. But yeah, with that, I will talk to you guys later.